Evan, it wasn't what you think. I was working.
Brielle, your location app put you in his hotel room.
The location app doesn't lie, even when you desperately want it to. I'm sitting in my kitchen at 11:30 on a Tuesday night, staring at my phone screen like it might suddenly develop a conscience and start telling me something different. But there it is, clear as the whiskey burning my throat. Brielle's little blue dot, nestled right next to Miles's little blue dot, at the Larkspur Hotel downtown. Not stuck in traffic, not at a client meeting, not anywhere she's supposed to be. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. My name's Evan Reddick, and I'm 45 years old. I manage software projects for a living, which means I spend my days herding cats who think they're geniuses. Tonight was supposed to be my promotion celebration. Senior project manager, finally. After 15 years of climbing the corporate ladder one rung at a time, wearing ties that cost more than my dad made in a week back in Toledo. Brielle was supposed to be there, my wife of 12 years, the woman who used to laugh at my jokes and steal fries off my plate. Instead, she texted me at 9. Stuck in traffic, babe. Don't wait up. Emergency client call. So proud of you, though. The emergency client, apparently, is my assistant Miles Hartley. I take another sip of whiskey and let the burn remind me this is real. The kitchen feels too quiet, too empty. Our wedding photo on the refrigerator mocks me with its frozen happiness. Brielle in that flowing white dress, me in my rented tux, both of us grinning like we'd figured out some secret the rest of the world missed. Turns out the secret was that she'd eventually find someone younger, prettier, and more eager to please. Miles is 32, all sharp cheekbones and designer stubble. He started as my assistant 8 months ago, fresh from some startup that went belly up. Ambitious, charming, the kind of guy who says things like synergy and paradigm shift without irony. Brielle met him at the office Christmas party, and suddenly she was full of suggestions about how I could learn from his energy and maybe dress a little sharper. I should have seen it coming when she started doing her hair differently, when she bought new perfume, when she started working late on freelance styling projects that never seemed to have names or addresses. The location app updates. They're still there, still together, still lying to their respective spouses. My phone buzzes. A text from Chloe Tran, my coworker. Great party tonight. Sorry you had to leave early. Everything okay? Chloe's 35, smart as hell, and has been shooting me looks across the conference table for months. Tonight she wore a black dress that made it clear she hadn't come to the party with a date. We talked for 20 minutes about everything except work, and I found myself remembering what it felt like to have a conversation with a woman who actually listened to my answers. I text back, family stuff, rain check on that drink? She responds immediately, always. Hope things work out. Things are definitely going to work out, just not the way Brielle expects. I finish my whiskey and head to the garage. My car starts on the first try, which feels like the universe's way of saying it's time to stop being a victim and start being something else. The drive downtown takes 15 minutes. The Larkspur is one of those boutique hotels that charges $300 a night for rooms the size of my college dorm, valet parking, marble lobby, the kind of place that makes you feel underdressed even in a suit. I park across the street and scan the lot. There's Brielle's silver Honda, tucked between a BMW and a Tesla like it's trying to blend in with better company, and there, 3 spaces over, is Miles's black Audi with the vanity plates that read M.L. Shirley, because apparently Miles was too many letters for his ego. I sit in my car for 10 minutes, watching the hotel entrance. A few couples come and go, all of them looking like they have legitimate reasons to be there. Business travelers, maybe, or people having affairs who are better at hiding it than my wife and my assistant. The rain starts as I'm getting out of my car. Perfect. Nothing says life falling apart like getting soaked while confronting your wife's infidelity. I walk across the street, my shoes splashing through puddles that reflect the hotel's neon sign. The lobby is all warm lighting and soft jazz, the kind of place designed to make people feel sophisticated while they make terrible decisions. I approach the front desk, where a young woman with a practiced smile asks if she can help me. I'm supposed to meet my wife, I say. Brielle Reddick? She's here with a colleague for a business meeting. The lie comes easily. Too easily. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I can't give out information about our guests. Of course, I understand. I smile and pull out my phone. Let me just call her. I dial Brielle's number and watch the desk clerk's face. After 4 rings, it goes to voicemail. Hi, you've reached Brielle Reddick Styling. Leave a message and I'll get back to you. Straight to voicemail, I tell the clerk. She's probably in a meeting. I'll wait in the bar. The bar is dimly lit and half empty, exactly the kind of place where people go to forget their problems or create new ones. I order another whiskey and position myself where I can see the elevators. At 12:47 a.m., they appear. Brielle emerges first, looking around the lobby like she's checking for witnesses. Her hair is messed up in a way that has nothing to do with the rain outside. She's wearing the blue dress I complimented her on this morning, the one she said was just for a quick client meeting. Miles follows 30 seconds later, adjusting his tie and trying to look casual. They don't leave together, that would be too obvious. Instead, Brielle heads for the parking garage while Miles stops at the front desk, probably settling the bill. I finish my drink and leave through the side exit. By the time I reach the parking garage, Brielle is already in her car, checking her makeup in the rearview mirror. She doesn't see me watching from behind a concrete pillar as she starts the engine and drives away. Miles takes longer. He's the type who has to check his hair, adjust his jacket, make sure he looks perfect before facing the world. When he finally reaches his Audi, I'm ready. I don't key his car. That would be too obvious, too crude. Instead, I take out my pocket knife and let the air out of his front left tire. Not slashing, just pressing the valve until it hisses softly into the night. Then I take a photo of his license plate and walk back to my car. As I'm driving home, my phone buzzes with a text from Brielle. Just got home. You asleep? Client meeting ran super late. Talk tomorrow? I text back. Still up. How'd the meeting go? Good. Productive. Tell you about it in the morning. Love you. Love you too, I type. And for the first time in months, I'm not lying. I do love her. I love the woman she used to be before she decided I wasn't enough anymore. Before she started looking at me like I was a consolation prize she'd settled for. But love doesn't mean I'm going to roll over and let her destroy what we built together. I pull into my driveway and sit in the car for a moment, listening to the rain on the roof. Tomorrow, everything changes. Tonight was just reconnaissance. Tomorrow I start fighting back. The boxing gym smells like sweat, leather, and broken dreams. It's exactly where I need to be. You look like hell, Reddick, Phil Miranda says as I wrap my hands. Phil's 58, built like a fire hydrant, and has been running Miranda's boxing club since before I was old enough to throw a punch. Rough night? You could say that. I test the weight of the heavy bag with a light jab. Phil, what would you do if someone was screwing you over? Someone you trusted? Phil stops cleaning his glasses and gives me the look he reserves for people about to do something stupid. Depends. We talking about screwing you over or screwing someone else while they're supposed to be with you? Sometimes I forget how perceptive Phil can be. The second one? Then you make them bleed where it hurts most. Not with your fists, that's amateur hour. You make them bleed their reputation, their money, their pride. He puts his glasses back on. But you better be sure you're right, because once you start down that road, there's no going back. I'm sure. I've been sure since I watched my wife fix her makeup in a hotel parking garage at 1 a.m. I spend an hour beating the heavy bag until my shoulders ache and my mind clears. Physical pain is honest. It doesn't lie or make excuses or pretend to be stuck in traffic. By the time I get home, Brielle is in the shower. I can hear her singing, actually singing, some pop song I don't recognize. She sounds happy, relaxed, the way she used to sound after we'd spent a weekend in bed together. I sit at my laptop and start doing what I do best, gathering data. Our joint credit card statement tells a story. The Larkspur Hotel, $347, charged 3 days ago. The Riverside Inn, $208, charged last week. The Downtown Marriott, $412, charged 2 weeks before that. All on days when Brielle claimed to be working late or meeting clients. I cross-reference the dates with my calendar. Every single charge corresponds to a day when Miles called in sick or left early for a dentist appointment. My assistant has been screwing my wife on my credit card. Hey, babe. Brielle appears in the kitchen, wrapped in a towel, her hair damp and curling around her shoulders. How was your night? Sorry, I missed the party. It was fine. Chloe asked about you. That's sweet. She seems nice. Brielle opens the refrigerator and pulls out a bottle of white wine. Want a glass? I feel like celebrating. Celebrating what? Your promotion, silly. And my meeting went really well last night. I think I'm going to land a huge new client. She pours 2 glasses and hands me one. Her smile is radiant, genuine. For a moment, I almost believe her, almost convince myself that I misunderstood what I saw, that there's some innocent explanation for everything. Then I notice the small bruise on her collarbone, just above the towel line, the kind of mark that comes from someone's mouth. That's great, I say, accepting the wine. Tell me about this new client. Oh, you know how it is? confidentiality agreements and all that, but it's big, Evan, really big. Could change everything for us. Us. She says it like we're still a team. I'm happy for you, I lie, and we toast to our respective successes. After she goes to bed, I keep digging. Brielle's phone is charging on the kitchen counter, and she's never changed her passcode. It's our anniversary date, which would be romantic if she weren't using the phone to coordinate affairs. Her text history with Miles goes back 3 months. It starts professional. Meeting times, project discussions, the kind of messages an assistant might send to his boss's wife about work events. But by the 2nd month, the tone shifts. Miles, thanks for the coffee today. You looked amazing in that red dress. Brielle, stop it, but thank you. Evan never notices anymore. Miles, his loss. You deserve someone who appreciates you. Brielle, we shouldn't be talking like this. Miles, probably not, but I can't stop thinking about you. The messages get progressively more intimate, more explicit. By month 3, they're coordinating hotel meetings and discussing how to hide the charges from me. Miles suggests using his credit card. Brielle insists on using ours because Evan never checks the statements anyway. She's right. I never did check them. I trusted her. I screenshot everything and email the images to myself from her phone, then delete the sent message. By morning, I'll have a complete record of their affair, all obtained legally from devices I have every right to access as her husband. I'm about to put her phone back when a new message comes in. Miles, can't sleep. Keep thinking about tonight. You're incredible. Brielle, shh, he's in the next room. Miles, when can I see you again? Brielle, Thursday, same place? Miles, can't wait. I love you. There's a long pause, then, I love you too. I set the phone down carefully, like it might explode. They love each other. This isn't just closeness or excitement or a midlife crisis. They think they're in love, which means they're planning a future together, which means I'm not just being cheated on, I'm being discarded. I pour myself another whiskey and start planning. The next morning, Brielle is cheerful over breakfast, chattering about her day while I read the news on my tablet. She's wearing a yellow sundress that brings out her eyes, and for a moment I remember why I fell in love with her. She was 29 when we met, working at a boutique downtown, full of dreams about starting her own styling business. I was the steady guy with the good job who could help make those dreams come true. Apparently, I've outlived my usefulness. I might be late tonight, she says, buttering her toast. Another client meeting? With the same client? Yes. They're very demanding. She doesn't even blush when she lies anymore. But the money's good. That's what matters, I agree. At work, Miles is 20 minutes late and looks like he hasn't slept. His usually perfect hair is slightly messed up, and there's a coffee stain on his shirt. Rough night? I ask as he settles at his desk outside my office. Yeah, actually. Couldn't sleep. Think I'm coming down with something. That's going around. Maybe you should take it easy today. Ah, thanks, Mr. Reddick. I appreciate you being understanding. Mr. Reddick. He calls me Mr. Reddick while he's sleeping with my wife. I spend the morning in meetings, playing the part of the successful executive while my personal life implodes. During lunch, I drive to Angela Hartley's house. Angela is Miles's wife, a sweet woman who teaches kindergarten and bakes cookies for the office Christmas party. She answers the door in paint-splattered clothes, looking confused to see me. Mr. Reddick, is everything okay? Is Miles hurt? Miles is fine. Can I come in? We need to talk. Her living room is decorated with photos of her and Miles, their wedding, vacation trips, family gatherings. They look happy in every picture, the way Brielle and I used to look. Angela, I'm going to tell you something that's going to hurt, but you need to know. I show her the credit card statements, the hotel charges, the text messages. I watch her face crumble as she processes what she's seeing. I don't understand, she whispers. Miles said he was working late. He said you were a demanding boss, that he had to stay after hours to keep up. I never asked him to work late, not once. She starts crying, then quiet tears that break my heart. How long? 3 months, based on what I found, maybe longer. I'm pregnant, she says suddenly. 6 weeks. I haven't told him yet. I was planning to surprise him this weekend. The room goes silent, except for the sound of her crying. I hand her tissues and wait for the initial shock to pass. What are you going to do? She asks finally. I'm going to make them pay for this, both of them. But I need your help. What kind of help? The kind that makes sure they can't hurt anyone else the way they've hurt us. Angela wipes her eyes and looks at me with an expression I've never seen before. It's not anger, exactly. It's something colder, more determined. What do you need me to do? Thursday arrives with the kind of crisp autumn air that makes everything feel possible, including revenge. Brielle leaves for her client meeting at 6, wearing the black dress I bought her for our anniversary last year. She kisses my cheek on her way out, and I catch a whiff of new perfume, something expensive and sultry that she definitely didn't buy for me. "Don't wait up," she says. "This might run late." I won't, I promise. An hour later, I'm parked outside the Larkspur with Angela in my passenger seat. She's been quiet since I picked her up, staring out the window with the kind of hollow expression that comes from having your world reorganized without your permission. "You sure about this?" I ask. "I'm sure." Her voice is steady now, resolved. "I need to see it for myself." We don't have to wait long. Miles's Audi pulls into the valet lane at 7:30, and he emerges wearing a suit that costs more than Angela makes in a month teaching kindergarten. He hands his keys to the valet with the casual confidence of a man who thinks he's gotten away with something. Brielle's Honda arrives 10 minutes later. She parks in the self-service garage. They've learned to stagger their arrivals, but they're still sloppy about the timing. "That's her," I tell Angela. "She's beautiful," Angela says quietly. I can see why he'd want her. Beauty's not the problem. Character is. We sit in silence for a while, watching the hotel entrance. Other couples come and go, some legitimate, some probably not. The valet staff treat everyone with the same professional discretion. This is clearly not their first rodeo. At 9 o'clock, my phone rings. Brielle. "Hey babe, just wanted to check in. Meeting's going well, but it'll probably run until 11 or so. Take your time. I'm just watching TV. Love you. Love you too." I hang up and turn to Angela. "Ready for phase 2? Angela nods. We've spent the last 2 days planning this, going over every detail until we're sure it'll work. The goal isn't just to catch them, it's to make sure everyone knows what kind of people they really are. I pull out my laptop and connect to the hotel's guest Wi-Fi. Angela has done her homework. Miles is registered in room 847 under his real name. He's not even trying to hide anymore. "Your turn," I tell Angela. She takes out her phone and dials the hotel's main number. "Hi, I need to speak with someone in room 847. It's an emergency." Yes, I'll hold." She covers the phone and whispers, "They're connecting me." After a moment, Miles's voice comes through the speaker, slightly out of breath. "Hello? Miles, it's Angela. I'm in the emergency room." "What? Angela, what happened? Are you okay?" "I fell down the stairs. I think I broke my wrist. Can you come get me? I can't drive." There's a pause. I can practically hear him calculating whether he can abandon my wife long enough to deal with his own. "Of course. Which hospital?" "St. Mary's, emergency entrance. Please hurry." "I'll be right there. 20 minutes, okay?" "Okay. I love you, Miles." "Love you too. Everything's going to be fine." Angela hangs up and looks at me with grim satisfaction. "He's coming." "Perfect. That gives us about 15 minutes before he figures out you're not actually at the hospital." We watch Miles emerge from the hotel 12 minutes later, looking panicked and disheveled. He's thrown his jacket on over his untucked shirt, and his hair is a mess. The valet brings his car around, and he speeds off toward the hospital district. "Now what?" Angela asks. "Now we go upstairs." The elevator to the 8th floor feels like the longest ride of my life. Angela is clutching her purse so tightly her knuckles are white, but her expression is determined. We've come too far to back down now. Room 847 is at the end of the hall. I knock softly. "Miles?" Brielle's voice, muffled through the door. "Did you forget your key?" I knock again. "Just a second." I hear movement, whispers, then footsteps approaching the door. The security chain rattles, the lockbolt clicks, and the door opens to reveal my wife in a hotel bathrobe, her hair tousled and her lipstick gone. Her face goes through several expressions in rapid succession. Confusion, recognition, and finally, pure terror. "Evan." She tries to close the door, but I'm already pushing past her into the room. The bed is unmade, clothes scattered on the floor, 2 wine glasses on the nightstand, mostly empty. The room smells like closeness and betrayal and expensive perfume. "Where is he?" I ask calmly. "I don't know what you think you saw, but—" "Brielle." I hold up my phone, showing her one of the text messages she sent to Miles. "Stop lying. Where is he?" She sinks onto the edge of the bed, the fight going out of her all at once. "He got a call. Emergency. He had to leave." "That's right. He did." I step aside so she can see Angela standing in the doorway. If Brielle looked terrified before, now she looks like she's seen a ghost. Angela steps into the room and closes the door behind her. "Hello, Brielle. I'm Angela Hartley, Miles's wife." Brielle pulls the bathrobe tighter around herself. I can explain. Please do, Angela says. Explain how you've been sleeping with my husband for 3 months. Explain how you've been using your husband's credit card to pay for hotel rooms. Explain how you told my husband you loved him. It's not what you think? It's exactly what I think, I say. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Brielle looks between us, probably trying to figure out if she can talk her way out of this. She's always been good with words, good at making people believe what she wants them to believe. Evan, please, can we talk about this at home, privately? We're way past private conversations, Brielle. You made this public when you started screwing my assistant in hotels all over town. I never meant for this to happen. It just did. Bullshit, Angela says quietly. This didn't just happen. You planned it. You chose it. You chose to destroy 2 marriages for what? For him? Brielle starts crying then, but they're not tears of remorse. They're tears of frustration, of someone who's been caught and doesn't know how to get out of it. You don't understand, she sobs. Evan and I, we've been growing apart for years. We don't connect anymore. Miles makes me feel alive again. So you decided to blow up everyone's life instead of asking for a divorce like an adult. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple, I say. But here's what's going to happen now. You're going to get dressed. You're going to come home with me, and tomorrow morning we're going to have a conversation about how this ends. And Miles? Angela speaks up. Miles is going to come home to an empty house and divorce papers. I'm filing tomorrow morning. Brielle's face crumples. You can't do this to us. We're not doing anything to you, I say. You did this to yourselves. We're just making sure there are consequences. It takes Brielle 20 minutes to get dressed and pack her things. Angela and I wait in the hallway, not talking, just processing what we've seen and what comes next. When Brielle finally emerges, she looks smaller somehow, diminished. The confident, radiant woman who left our house this morning is gone, replaced by someone who looks lost and scared. What about Miles? She asks as we walk to the elevator. What about him? Angela replies. He made his choice. Now he gets to live with it. The elevator ride down is silent. In the lobby, I settle the bill for room 847 while Angela and Brielle wait by the entrance. The desk clerk doesn't ask any questions. He's probably seen this scenario before. Outside, it started to rain again. Brielle gets into my car without a word, and I drive Angela back to her house. Thank you, Angela says as she gets out, for telling me, for helping me see the truth. Thank you for helping me prove it. What happens now? Now we both start over, without them. I watch Angela walk to her front door, her shoulders straight despite everything she's been through tonight. She's stronger than she knows. The drive home with Brielle is the longest 20 minutes of my marriage. She stares out the passenger window, occasionally sniffling, but doesn't try to explain or apologize or justify what she's done. It's only when we pull into our driveway that she finally speaks. I do love him, Evan. I know that doesn't make it right, but I do love him. I know, I say. That's what makes this so much worse. We sit in the car for a moment, listening to the rain on the roof, both of us knowing that everything between us is over. What happens tomorrow? She asks. Tomorrow we figure out how to untangle 12 years of marriage. Tonight, you sleep in the guest room. She nods and gets out of the car. I watch her walk to the front door, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Inside, I pour myself a whiskey and sit in my kitchen, staring at the wedding photo on the refrigerator. The happy couple in the picture looks like strangers now. People I used to know, a long time ago. My phone buzzes with a text from Chloe. Hope your family situation worked out okay. Here if you need to talk. For the first time in months, I smile. Tomorrow is going to be different. Tomorrow I start building something new. Friday morning arrives with the kind of brutal clarity that comes after a storm. I wake up at 5:30, shower, and dress in my best suit. The charcoal one Brielle always said made me look distinguished. Today, I want to look like a man in control. Brielle is still asleep in the guest room when I leave for work, or pretending to be asleep. Either way, we're not ready to talk yet. Some conversations need to marinate. The office feels different today. Maybe it's because I know what I know, or maybe it's because I've finally stopped pretending everything is fine. Miles isn't at his desk when I arrive, which isn't surprising. He's probably still trying to figure out why his wife wasn't actually in the emergency room last night. Chloe stops by my office around 9 with coffee and a concerned expression. You look like hell, she says, settling into the chair across from my desk. Want to talk about it? Family drama. It's complicated. The best kind usually is. She studies my face. Anything I can help with? I consider telling her everything. About Brielle, about Miles, about the hotel room and the lies and the credit card bills. But Chloe deserves better than to be someone's rebound confidant. Maybe later. Right now I just need to focus on work. Fair enough. But Evan, whatever's going on, you don't have to handle it alone. After she leaves, I spend an hour reviewing Miles's work files. He's been sloppy lately. Missed timelines, incomplete reports, client communications that are unprofessional at best. I document everything, building a case that has nothing to do with my personal life and everything to do with his job performance. Miles finally shows up at 10:30, looking like he's been hit by a truck. His usually perfect hair is disheveled, his shirt is wrinkled, and there are dark circles under his eyes. "Sorry I'm late," he says, not quite meeting my eyes. "Family emergency last night." "Everything okay?" "Yeah, false alarm. But it was stressful." "I understand. Why don't you take the morning to get caught up? We'll touch base after lunch." He nods and retreats to his desk. I watch him through my office window as he checks his phone obsessively, probably trying to reach Brielle. Good luck with that. I turned off the Wi-Fi at home before I left this morning. At 11, I get a call from Angela. "I filed the divorce papers an hour ago," she says. "My lawyer says it should be straightforward since we don't have kids or significant assets. How are you holding up?" "Better than expected. Angry, but better. There's something liberating about finally knowing the truth." "I know what you mean." "Evan, there's something else. I found some things in Miles's home office, financial documents. I think you should see them." "What kind of documents?" "The kind that suggest your assistant has been stealing from your company." That gets my attention. "Can you bring them by my office this afternoon?" "Already on my way." Angela arrives at 1 o'clock with a manila folder and a grim expression. She's dressed professionally, a navy suit that makes her look older, more serious. The kindergarten teacher is gone, replaced by someone who means business. "I found these in his filing cabinet," she says, spreading documents across my desk. "Bank statements, investment accounts, credit applications. Miles has been living way beyond his salary." I study the papers. Miles makes $45,000 a year as my assistant, but his bank statements show deposits of nearly twice that amount. The extra money comes in irregular chunks, always in cash, always with vague descriptions like consulting fees or freelance work. "This doesn't make sense," I say. "He doesn't have any consulting clients." "Look at the dates," Angela points to the deposit schedule. "They correspond to your major client projects. Every time your company lands a big contract, Miles gets a cash windfall a few weeks later." The pattern is clear once you know what to look for. Miles has been selling information, client data, project timelines, budget numbers, to our competitors. It's corporate espionage, and it's been going on for months. "How did you figure this out?" "I'm a teacher. I know how to spot patterns." Angela's voice is cold. "Plus, I've been doing our taxes for 5 years. I know what his legitimate income looks like." I photograph all the documents and hand them back to her. "Angela, you just saved my company, and probably my career." "Good, because Miles is going to need a new job when this is over." That afternoon, I call a meeting with HR and our security department. I present Miles's performance issues first. The missed timelines, the sloppy work, the unprofessional communications. Then I show them the financial evidence Angela provided, along with a detailed analysis of which client information was compromised and when. By 4 o'clock, security is reviewing Miles's computer access logs and preparing to escort him from the building. By 4:30, our lawyers are drafting termination papers that will ensure he never works in our industry again. Miles is called to the conference room at 5. I watch through the window as security explains that his employment is terminated immediately and that he's under investigation for corporate espionage. His face goes white, then red, then white again. He looks toward my office as they escort him out, and our eyes meet for a moment. I don't smile. I don't gloat. I just watch him leave with the same expression I'd use to observe any other problem being solved. My phone rings as I'm packing up to leave. Brielle. "Evan, I can't reach Miles. His phone goes straight to voicemail. Do you know where he is?" "He was fired this afternoon for stealing company secrets." Silence. Then, "What?" "Your boyfriend is a corporate spy, Brielle. He's been selling our client information to competitors for months. Security escorted him out around 5. "That's impossible. Miles wouldn't do that." "Miles has been doing a lot of things you probably thought he wouldn't do, like sleeping with married women while his pregnant wife thinks he's working late." Another silence. Longer this time. "Angela's pregnant?" 6 weeks. She was planning to surprise him this weekend." I hear Brielle start crying, but I don't feel sorry for her anymore. Sympathy is a luxury I can't afford. "Evan, please, Can we talk? I know I screwed up, but maybe we can work through this. We'll talk, but not about working through anything. We'll talk about dividing assets and filing paperwork and who gets the good lawyer. You can't mean that. I mean every word. You chose Miles over me, Brielle. Now you can have him. Unemployed, divorced, and under investigation for corporate espionage. But you can have him. I hang up and drive to Miranda's boxing club. Phil takes one look at me and points toward the heavy bag. Work it out, he says. Whatever it is, work it out. I spend an hour hitting the bag until my shoulders ache and my knuckles are raw. With every punch, I feel a little more like myself again. Not the man I was before Brielle cheated. That version of me was too trusting, too naive. But a better version. Stronger. Smarter. Less willing to accept less than I deserve. When I'm done, Phil hands me a towel and a bottle of water. Feel better? Getting there. Good, because tomorrow you start building something new. Tonight, you just survived something that would have broken a weaker man. I drive home to find Brielle's car gone and a note on the kitchen counter. Staying at my sister's for a few days. We need space to think. Space to think. After 3 months of lies and hotel rooms and stolen credit card numbers, now she needs space to think. I pour myself a whiskey and sit in my kitchen, looking at the empty house around me. Tomorrow I'll start the divorce process. Tomorrow I'll change the locks and the passwords and the beneficiaries on my insurance policies. Tonight, I'm just going to sit here and appreciate the silence. My phone buzzes with a text from Chloe. Heard about Miles. Crazy stuff? You okay? I text back, better than okay. Want to grab dinner tomorrow? I'll tell you the whole story. It's a date. Well, not a date, unless you want it to be a date. I smile for the first time all day. Let's start with dinner and see what happens. Perfect. Pick me up at 7? It's a date, I type, and mean it. Outside, it's starting to rain again, but this time it sounds like a beginning instead of an ending. Saturday arrives with brilliant sunshine and the kind of crisp air that makes everything feel possible. I wake up in my own bed, in my own house, without having to wonder where my wife really spent the night. It's been a long time since I felt this clear-headed. Brielle's sister calls at 9. Evan, it's Jennifer. Brielle's here, and she's a mess. What the hell happened? Jennifer has never liked me. She thinks Brielle married beneath her station, that she could have done better than a project manager from Toledo. Today, I don't care what Jennifer thinks. Your sister has been having an affair with my assistant for 3 months. I caught them. Now we're getting divorced. That's what happened. She says you set her up, that you and that man's wife conspired against them. We exposed the truth. If Brielle thinks that's a conspiracy, she's welcome to explain her version to a divorce lawyer. Evan, please. She made a mistake, but she made a choice, Jennifer. Multiple choices over multiple months. Now she gets to live with the consequences. I hang up before she can respond. I don't owe Jennifer explanations, and I don't owe Brielle forgiveness. At noon, I meet with a divorce attorney recommended by my company's legal department. Patricia Wong is in her 50s, sharp-eyed, and has a reputation for getting her clients exactly what they deserve. Adultery, financial deception, and you have documentation of everything? She reviews the file I've prepared. This should be straightforward. Ohio is a no-fault state, but judges still consider marital misconduct when dividing assets. What am I looking at, timeline-wise? 6 months if she cooperates. Longer if she fights. But given the evidence you have, fighting would be expensive and pointless. She's not stupid, just selfish. The smart, selfish ones are actually easier to deal with. They do the math and take the settlement. I spend the afternoon at Home Depot buying new locks for every door in the house. It's therapeutic work, removing the old hardware, installing the new, making the house truly mine again. Each lock I change feels like reclaiming territory. At 6, I shower and dress for my dinner with Chloe. I choose jeans and a button-down shirt, casual but put together. This isn't about impressing anyone. It's about remembering what it feels like to spend time with someone who actually wants to be there. Chloe lives in a converted warehouse downtown, the kind of loft space that's all exposed brick and industrial fixtures. She answers the door in a green dress that brings out her eyes, and for a moment I forget how to speak. You clean up nice, she says, grabbing her purse. Where are we going? Somewhere we can talk without being interrupted. I take her to a small Italian place on the west side, the kind of neighborhood restaurant where the owner knows everyone's name and the wine list is written on a chalkboard. We get a corner table with candles and white tablecloths and enough privacy to have a real conversation. So, Chloe says after we order, Miles getting fired was quite a shock. Want to tell me what really happened? I tell her everything. About finding Brielle and Miles at the hotel, about the credit card bills and the text messages, about Angela and the divorce papers and the evidence of corporate espionage. Chloe listens without interrupting, her expression shifting from surprise to anger to something that might be admiration. Jesus, Evan, I'm sorry. That's a lot. It is, but I'm handling it. More than handling it. You're dismantling their lives, piece by piece. They dismantled mine first. I'm just returning the favor. And how do you feel about that? The revenge part, I mean. I consider the question while I sip my wine. Satisfied. They thought they were smarter than me, that I was some clueless husband who'd never figure it out. Turns out they were wrong. What happens next? Divorce proceedings start Monday. Miles will probably be blacklisted from every tech company in the city. Brielle will have to rebuild her business without my financial support. I meet Chloe's eyes, and I start figuring out what the rest of my life looks like. Any ideas about that? A few. I'm thinking it might involve spending time with people who actually want to spend time with me. Chloe smiles. That sounds like a good plan. We talk until the restaurant closes, about work and books and travel and all the things I haven't had a real conversation about in months. Chloe is funny and smart and doesn't check her phone once during dinner. When she laughs at my jokes, it's because they're actually funny, not because she's trying to manage my mood. I walk her to her door at 11, and we stand in the hallway for a moment, both of us aware that this is a decision point. I had a great time tonight, she says. So did I. Can we do it again? I'd like that. But Evan, take some time to process everything that's happened. Don't jump into something new just because you're angry at your wife. Ex-wife. And this isn't about anger. This is about remembering what it feels like to enjoy someone's company. She kisses my cheek, soft and brief. Call me when you're ready for whatever comes next. I drive home feeling lighter than I have in months. The house is still empty, still quiet, but it doesn't feel lonely anymore. It feels peaceful. Sunday morning, I'm drinking coffee and reading the newspaper when my doorbell rings. Through the window, I can see Miles standing on my front porch, looking like he hasn't slept in days. I open the door but don't invite him in. What do you want, Miles? I want to talk about everything. About Brielle. About the job. About what happens next. There's nothing to talk about. You're fired, you're divorced, and you're banned from working in tech anywhere in this city. What happens next is you figure out how to live with the choices you made. Evan, please, I know you're angry, but I'm not angry, Miles. I'm done. There's a difference. Brielle loves me. We want to be together. Then be together. Just do it somewhere else, with someone else's money, and don't expect me to make it easy for you. Miles's composure finally cracks. You destroyed my life. No, I exposed your life. You destroyed it yourself when you decided to steal from my company and sleep with my wife. She was unhappy. You weren't giving her what she needed. So she should have asked for a divorce. Instead, she chose to lie and cheat and steal, just like you did. I start to close the door, but Miles puts his hand up to stop it. This isn't over, Evan. Yes, it is, and if you come to my house again, I'll call the police and have you arrested for trespassing. I close the door and lock it, then watch through the window as Miles stands on my porch for another minute before finally walking away. Monday morning, I'm back in the office early, reviewing the damage from Miles's information selling. Our security team has identified 3 major clients whose data was compromised, but fortunately, none of them have suffered any actual losses. We'll implement new security protocols and move on. Patricia Wong calls at 10 to tell me she's filed the divorce papers and served them to Brielle at Jennifer's house. How did she take it? About as well as you'd expect. Lots of crying, some threats to fight it, but her sister talked her down. I think she'll be reasonable once the shock wears off. And the timeline? 6 months if she signs the settlement agreement. I'm being generous with the asset division, given the circumstances. She'll get the house equity and half the savings, but you keep your retirement accounts, and she's responsible for her own legal fees. That's more than fair. It's more than she deserves, but it's less than a court fight would cost you. Sometimes the smart play is the generous play. At lunch, I drive to Angela's house to check on her. She's painting the living room a soft yellow, covering up the photos and memories of her marriage with something fresh and new. How are you feeling? Tired, sad, but also relieved? Does that make sense? Perfect sense. I felt the same way when I changed the locks. Miles came by yesterday. He wanted to talk about reconciling. What did you tell him? I told him I was pregnant and that he could either sign the divorce papers voluntarily or explain to a judge why he thought adultery and corporate espionage made him good father material. And he signed the papers. Angela sets down her paintbrush and looks at me. Evan, I want to thank you for telling me the truth, for helping me get evidence, for treating me like a partner instead of a victim. You did the same for me. What happens now? For both of us, I mean. Now we build something better, something honest. I help her paint for an hour, and we talk about the future, her plans for raising a baby as a single mother, my plans for rebuilding my life without Brielle. It's a good conversation, the kind you have with someone who understands what you've been through. That evening, Chloe and I have dinner again, this time at a Thai place near her apartment. She's wearing jeans and a sweater, and she looks more beautiful than Brielle ever did in her designer dresses. How was your day? She asks. Productive. Divorce papers are filed, security protocols are updated, and I helped a friend paint her living room. Angela? She's stronger than she looks. Stronger than Miles ever deserved. And how are you doing? Really? Better every day. It's amazing how much energy you get back when you stop pretending everything is fine. I'm glad. You seem lighter. More like yourself. This is myself. The version of me that doesn't accept being treated like shit. After dinner, we walk through the downtown district, past the art galleries and coffee shops and boutiques where young couples hold hands and plan their futures. 6 months ago, I would have felt bitter watching them. Tonight, I feel hopeful. Evan, Chloe says as we reach her building. I know I said to take time to process everything, but I want you to know, when you're ready, really ready, I'm interested in seeing where this goes. I'm ready now. Are you sure? Because I don't want to be your rebound. I want to be your choice. I stop walking and turn to face her. Chloe, you're not my rebound. You're my reminder that there are still good people in the world. People who show up when they say they will, who tell the truth even when it's complicated, who don't check their phones during dinner because they'd rather talk to the person in front of them. She smiles. Those are pretty low standards. They're higher than you think. This time when she kisses me, it's not on the cheek. It's soft and warm and full of possibility. And it tastes like the beginning of something real. 3 weeks later, the divorce is final. Brielle gets her settlement and moves to Columbus with Miles, who found a job at a small marketing firm that doesn't do background checks. They're welcome to each other. Angela has her baby shower on a Saturday afternoon, and I stop by with a gift, a savings bond for the baby's college fund. She hugs me at the door and introduces me to her friends as the man who helped me find my strength. That evening, Chloe and I have dinner at my house, our first home-cooked meal together. She brings wine and flowers and helps me make pasta from scratch. And we talk about everything and nothing while jazz plays in the background. So this is what normal feels like, she says as we clean up the dishes. Better than normal. This is what good feels like. Later, as we're sitting on the couch with coffee and dessert, Chloe asks the question I've been expecting. Do you ever regret it? The way you handled everything with Brielle and Miles? I think about it for a moment. No. They made choices that hurt people who trusted them. I made sure there were consequences. The world needs more consequences. And fewer people who think they can get away with anything. Exactly. She curls up next to me, and we watch the fire in the fireplace and listen to the rain on the windows. It's peaceful in a way my house never was when Brielle lived here. There's no tension, no waiting for the other shoe to drop, no wondering what secrets are hiding behind someone's smile. Evan? Yeah? I'm glad you found out the truth. Not because I wanted your marriage to end, but because you deserved better than living a lie. We both deserved better than that. Outside, the rain continues to fall, washing away the last remnants of autumn and making room for whatever comes next. Inside, I'm warm and content and exactly where I want to be. For the first time in years, I'm not wondering what my wife is really doing, or where she really is, or who she's really with. I'm not checking credit card statements or location apps or text messages. I'm just here, in this moment, with someone who chose to be here too, and that makes all the difference.